Yes, guys, finally we are here with MPGL season 7. Wow, this wait was so long, my brain is already mush. We've been waiting for this game for about an hour. First of all, we had to wait for the official start time and the previous round to finish. Then about another 30 minutes for teams to get all of the 5 players. But finally we are here. 5 Eva managed to get their stand in just in time. But it is First Departure versus 5 Eva in the upper bracket semi-final. Should be a great game at least. 2 definitely strong teams in the Southeast Asian scene. But, of course, we're HeflaTV, your English coverage for this event. I'm Couchor, gonna be joined by Danelie once again. Do you have any favorites going into this?
In all honesty, I kind of feel like both teams are relatively even in terms of skill level. I could say that 5 Ever may be a touch above First Departure, but I feel like 5 Ever, they've been a little bit shaky as a team themselves. So I want to say that both teams, they've got an even chance to actually win this series. Well, best of one.
Yeah, I mean,
Is it best of one? Yeah.
It
Okay.
definitely changes the odds a little bit, I think. So I kind of have to agree with your statement. First Departure, of course, hasn't been looking all that strong. But then again, by no means have they looked weak either. Same can be said for 5 Eva, really. I think 5 Eva in general, people were expecting more out of that team, I think, but they are. It's just that their drafting style is a little bit quirky, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Most times, 5 Eva, at the very least, they give us exciting games, so I'm all for that.
Oh, of course. I think everyone actually wants to watch an exciting game. Nobody really wants to watch one of those passive, 5 kills after 30-minute games.
Well,
I don't think that ever happens
betters don't
anymore.
care as long as their team wins.
Oh my goodness. Anyways, we'll jump straight into our picks and bans. So for the moment, we're going to have a Juggernaut and Sniper ban on the side of First Departure, whereas 5 Ever, they're going to get rid of the Phoenix and the Storm Spirit Catcher. Phoenix has been on the rise lately as a hero. What's your opinion on Phoenix?
I think Phoenix is actually goddamn strong. Most games I see of him, Phoenix is really dominant. The Fire Spirits, they're just so strong if you can land them damage wise. Phoenix as an offlaner as well, maybe not that easy to get the XP, get the gold, but if you do get them, usually like Phoenix, you just go for Hand of Midas so you can get guaranteed income anyway. But if for some reason there's only one support to deal with you, there's a rather high chance that from like level 4 or so, Phoenix can even just go for a solo kill on the support.
Yeah, he is a very strong hero. In all honesty, I didn't actually expect Phoenix to come into competitive as an off lane. Like, yes, Phoenix did used to get a lot of play in the off lane in my pubs. I used to play him a lot myself, but in all honesty, I didn't really think that teams would suddenly realize how powerful he was as a hero. He's a great counter-initiating hero. He's got the supernova. And when there's a supernova in the team fight, you have to try and wriggle the enemy team away from the supernova, or you just completely disengage the entire team fight. It's very difficult to deal with if you don't have attack speed or any heroes that can really benefit from just hitting the egg relatively quickly. Then the fight, a lot of the times, just don't end well for you. So, interesting ban for 5 Ever. I guess Phoenix is, you can say, worth the first ban now. I don't know. I feel like Phoenix normally gets picked up third or fifth.
Yeah, I think it's a like reasonably strong hero, but first ban I probably wouldn't rate it as high. Of course, 5 they definitely I think have more insight into First Departure than I do, so maybe it's like at least a semi-team specific ban. But looking at the picks, First Departure started with a Lion. 5 did go for the Vengeful and Troll, definitely a strong combination. I mean, for a second I thought 5 maybe they're not gonna even pick up the Troll, but it's probably just too good of a hero to pass up on. Whereas FT, second pick, Earthshaker, so they have their support duo, I think. And that duo has just so much lockdown. It's probably one of the heaviest lockdown duos you can just imagine.
Yeah, there's a lot of lockdown on First Departure. And keep in mind, Earthshaker's a really good hero for really deterring those melee carries from hitting your allies. So Troll Warlord, he's a bit of an exception just because he can swap between the melee and the ranged axes. But I think Lubby is going to be handling the Earthshaker. I could be wrong, he might be on the line, but I think last time I saw them with an Earthshaker, I think Lubby handled the Earthshaker. But anyways, we're going to go through our second phases of bans. Bristleback and Magnus will be the picks, or basically the pick for bans for first departure, and whereas 5EVER, they get rid of the TA and the Broodmother. So, do you think this TA was banned in anticipation for a mid TA to go up against a troll?
I would think so. It's the only thing that like makes sense at the moment. T, of course, in general is definitely a strong hero. It just allows you to go for early Roshan's. It is really hard to deal with that hero, so 5 maybe they just don't have any heroes in mind that can easily just chew through those refraction charges. As 5 now though, they pick up a Zeus. Support Zeus is actually something that, well, the previous first departure when Miracle was still in it, used to run quite a bit. So it may still be support Zeus here as well, or maybe that mid lane Zeus. And if it is a mid lane one, then Temper Assassin being banned makes a little bit more sense because Zeus, I think, would struggle in there. But then again, Arc Lightning, I don't know, it's hard to say.
The Zeus TA matchup, it's very TA favored. Just because Zeus, he can spam the Arc Lightning, but his mana pool is not infinite. So I think for the first couple of levels before he has the bottle, Zeus really struggles. So yeah, like you mentioned, the TA may make this a mid Zeus, like just that ban, making it a little bit easier for him. But first departure though, they're going to secure themselves an Invoker. I have not seen an Invoker in a very long time.
Yes, same here really. Is there something like that Faceless Void now following up this Invoker, go for an Exort? Especially because most Invokers I do see, when the rare cases I see them, they're going for just Quas Vex these days.
Yeah.
So
I
I
think
definitely
this is
wouldn't
gonna
mind like
be.
Wombo Combo Exort.
I think this is actually going to be Exalt because if you look at the two supports already, the two supports alone,
So
they have a lot of lockdown. So I don't really think they need a Quas Wex Invoker unless they're going for something like a Medusa. But Medusa's probably not going to get picked up by 5EVER. They go for, I'm scared to say it, a Bloodseeker. This is C Dota.
I'm not too sure, but I think I saw 5 play Bloodseeker the last week or so. I think Chibix ran it. I'm not entirely sure about that one, but with Bloodseeker, it's not that bad of a hero. The Bloodright is a pretty huge AoE, which does silence as well. Definitely going to be nice against Lion and Earthshaker if you can land the silence. Even the same against Invoker as well. Also, just Blood Raging up Troll Warlord while his Battle Trance bashing somebody may make for easy kills. At least when the Troll has a BKB not to get disabled by, well, any of First Departure's heroes at the moment. It can definitely work out, but I have no idea how they're going to lane this. Like, where does the Bloodseeker go?
Well, oh my goodness. So first departure, they're going to secure themselves a Medusa. This is an exceptional hero to go up against, especially the Troll Warlord and Bloodseeker. So I feel like that Medusa pick just suddenly trumped the Troll Warlord and Bloodseeker in general. Just because so long as the Medusa can get her ultimate off, then at least it's either going to buy time for first departure supports and Invoker to come in, or the team fight's already happened and it's going to either turn 5EVER away so that they cannot get stone gazed, or they do get stone gazed and they get picked off. So this is a great Medusa game actually for first departure. But you mentioned the buff to the Troll Warlord with the Blood Rage. Yeah, he would have to get a BKB with that. You take extra damage if you're buffed up with the Blood Rage. So it's very interesting for 5EVER. They have very little lockdown though. That is the negative to their draft, unfortunately. Very little lockdown. They're either going to have to jump on their targets and really burst them down, or they're going to have to try and pick up somebody to help them with disable. Because the only disables they have is the Vengeful Spirit stun, a Lucky Bash from Troll Warlord, and the tiniest mini stun from Zeus. I don't really want to say that the Rupture is really a disable, just because if the Vengeful Spirit or Troll Warlord, sorry, if the Vengeful Spirit's not there, there's not going to be a certain stun, and if the Troll Warlord doesn't get a bash, that's going to be an easy TP out. Well, I guess if the Zeus is there, the Lightning Bolt does provide that little mini bash, but very, very weak in the disabled department for 5EVER.
Yeah, they're probably more so reliant on just bursting that one hero down as fast as they can. Maybe gonna split themselves between two, but 5 now, well, they do not need additional lockdown. At least that's what they think. Gonna go for the Tinker instead. It's definitely gonna be nice in just defending towers, defending high ground, for example. Lots of burst damage to also come. That burst damage may even be enough to even go through like a late game mana shield of Medusa, but that would require like 2, maybe 3 rearms for the Tinker. Of course, late game is definitely strong for 5 Eva at the moment. Zeus, even if you are a support, if you get just like up to level 11, something like that, have the static field maxed out, it's just a great late game ability because it scales based on the health percentage of First Departure. So support wise, Zeus is gonna be pretty nice even in the late game. Troll, Bloodseeker and Tinker to just be the cores, definitely not too shabby. And well, First Departure, we'll see how mid or late game oriented they want to go for with their last pick.
I feel like 5 is... Oh. Everything I was about to
Bloodseeker
say
and
just
Huskar.
gone.
Bloodseeker
Everything
and
I wanted to say is just gone. Well, this is going to be interesting because I've never seen Huskar, or I've never seen the new Huskar in competitive. So this is going to be literally a first departure for me.
That pun.
I'm going to stop doing that.
Well, at the moment, I mean, I've seen I think like 1, maybe 2 Huskars. Some have worked out. I think the last time I saw it, it was for an South American game where the Huskar went straight into armlet, no boots even first. Like really first item armlet. But the thing is now, how do they lane this with the Huskar? Who's gonna be the off lane? Do they go for an aggressive tri lane and have like Medusa solo safe or?
Actually, we could go for an aggressive tri-lane, maybe with the Invoker, have the Medusa... Actually, you could probably put the Huskar, looks like Huskar's going off lane. Huskar is going off lane. Ignore everything that I said.
That's... I don't know what
This
to
is very
say.
new.
That's new meta for sure from First Departure right here. But to introduce the lineups, the Huskar, the off-lane Huskar, will be played by Freedom, leaving Kai playing the Earthshaker with Yuwa on the Invoker, Lobby on the Medusa, with Angie being the last one on the Lion.
Playing on the Radiant side for 5 Ever on our Bloodseeker, we're going to have Miracle. So he looks like he's going to be handling the little red guy. We have, what is this? Z-Red on our Vengeful Spirit. Going to be playing on our Troll Warlord. We have Polison up towards the ring. We have Chaos on our Tinker. And then lastly, looks like we're going to have a off-lane Chivix. He's kind of just standing there waiting for the rune. Is this really an off-lane Zeus? He's by himself.
Yeah, off-lane Zeus is something I've seen fairly often even, at least coming out from Zeus. So it can work out for sure. Maybe they are expecting an aggressive tri-lane to come from First Departure, so they're expecting the Zeus to be possibly up against a solo hero. Of course, they're going to soon enough find out that that is definitely not going to be the case. But Zeus offlane isn't the most horrible thing, although I'd still put it up there for the most horrible things.
It's very different. We'll see how Chibix actually does in this top lane. Just because there is going to be a support Lion here to really bully him out of the lane. And, well, I guess the advantage of having a Lion is that his base damage is higher than the Zeus's. So if you want to just compete in terms of right clicks, Lion will win in that department. But when Chibix throws out the spells, especially the Arc Lightning, it's going to hurt the Lion a little bit more. But it means that the Arc Lightning is not really going to be used on the creeps. But there's the stun already, and Chibix already down to roughly half HP. And he only has Tangos, unfortunately. No salve for Chibix.
Yeah, just starting with 1 base armor definitely doesn't help out in withstanding that harass there as well. And also, it's just Lion, not only do you have slightly better base damage, you of course also have better attack range, which is going to play a huge part. Also, attack animation for Zeus is pretty crappy. So Zeus, if he gets like level 3, he's definitely going to stand a better time just because he's going to be able to also Lightning Bolt Angie, who now Earth Spikes, Mana Drains Zeus as well. So this is just going to be a hard lane, even if it is only up against the dual lane.
Yeah,
Bottom lane,
down
also
bottom there.
no!
Oh,
If the
bit
Fisher
of misplay,
landed correctly,
unfortunately.
probably first blood, right?
Yeah, most likely. Especially if Freedom could have gotten a couple of more of the burning spears onto Polison, the stacks really hurt. So if that fissure connected, getting a couple more of the spears would definitely have killed the troll. But Polison, oh, Salve been cancelled. Oh my goodness, very unfortunate there for Polison. So he's going to have to rely on his last Tango after he's finished up chewing on this one. This is going to be a very hard lane for 5 Ever.
Well, Kaiten again did get his own clarity cancelled. Of course, has one extra, so may not matter as much. But only has that last clarity for himself, so if she can throw out another Fissure, maybe two at best. Does Huskar? Well, Huskar may go for a Ring of Passy with that Ring of Protection, we'll see. Maybe it's just gonna be Tranquil Boots, but he really wants to go for the Harass. Just look at the Poloson, trying to outrun it, has to use those ranged whirling axes to slow down Freedom. Huskar, just such a manly hero.
Yeah, the harass potential with the burning spears, it's incredible. Just tanking one or two of the spears, it takes so much HP away, and because of that salve cancel from earlier as well from Kai, that was a great play. It pretty much forces the troll back. Because if that salve completely finished, that meant that he would have actually had some more HP to work with. So Poloson would still be in the lane if that salve was not cancelled. So pretty good plays so far by First Departure. They're looking pretty solid. How's their mid lane looking actually? Invoker looks like he's doing okay himself, 10 CS compared to the 9 of the Tinker. So relatively even for both teams with their mid laners.
Yeah, this Invoker still they go for the Quaswax. A little bit lame. Would like to see some Exort every now and then. It's a little bit too forgotten. Of course, Invoker himself is kind of forgotten, so maybe that's one of the reasons we don't see as many different item or skill builds rather coming out. In general though, if we look at the last hits across the board, it is slightly favoring First Departure for now. Still, most surprisingly, it's just Huskar being that dominant in the lane troll, only 5 last hits. Now Kai runs into Miracle, who's in the jungle. And now, wow, that's gonna be first blood. Bloodright is gonna be there. Who's the one to get it? And it is Miracle. So, Earthshaker just a little bit out of position. Of course, 5 nicely converging on the Earthshaker there as well. But Medusa, just seconds after first blood was drawn, they got the kill on Zeus.
Yeah, so 1 for 1 for both sides, but First Departure, they gave away first blood, so it's not going to be too favourable for them. They do get the Zeus, I suppose, but Zeus... Actually, never mind. Zeus is still level 2, so Chibix is really struggling in this off lane. I guess that line is a little bit too much for Zeus to handle.
Yeah, it looks like, I mean, Lion definitely is strong enough, and or rather, it's probably just Zeus not being that strong himself, but does find the haste rune, runs past an observer ward, so First Departure, they definitely know that the Zeus is up and about, so don't bring your couriers at the moment. Well, then again, flying one, I don't think Zeus would have what it takes to really catch up to it. Even with a haste rune, may not be able to just kill it off with the attack damage that he has.
He would actually have to hit it 4 times just because he's got less than 50 damage per right click. So very, very low chance of Zeus getting the kill on that unless they somehow just leave the courier there for 5 seconds. Or Chibix, we jumped on. He's still got the haste rune. Actually, never mind, it ran out. Oh, Chibix. Can he get the kill onto Lubby? He will not. Medusa's going to be able to pretty much secure the kill on the Zeus. So Chibix, do not get too confident with haste runes. They're very, very deceiving little runes.
It was also just a Lion sitting in the trees at the side shop, waiting for Zeus to show up on the lane and suddenly coming in from behind. But haste rune, it's definitely one of the better runes, but at the same time it gives you like a false sense of security. I've had it happen way too many times. Still, I think one of the best things I've seen on stream from Bro players is somebody had a haste rune, wanted to go kill a Razor, used a single target spell on the Razor, got purged out of the haste rune and died.
Yep, I've seen that before. And I've seen a Storm Spirit with a double damage rune actually try to do that as well. Zipped in, no mana. You know what happens.
Oh,
There's a jump actually. Poloson, he looks like he's tanky enough, and there's a Fissure to keep him there for long enough in the stacks. That's going to kill off Poloson. So unfortunately, Vengeful Spirit kind of looked away from the carry, and there's no carry there no more. It's just a little pile of blood.
I really love, like absolutely love the animation of the life break. Just Huskar flying at you. It's most fun when somebody like uses a Force Staff or just some way to get farther away. It's just life break keeps on going.
It's wonderful. Oh, actually, Zero looks like he might be in trouble. He's actually got boots, but that doesn't really matter though. Even though he might try and quick freedom, he's very tanky. And there's going to be Poloson going to try and fight up against the Huskar. And Huskar, there's the Fissure. Can they get the kill? Huskar's actually going to go down now. Looks like poor Hoshino. Oh no, never mind. He gets the kill on the troll. The Lion's still alive and he gets denied by the creep. That creep.
Them hill trolls. Them hill trolls.
I think he healed him and it killed him. It did a little heal animation. My goodness.
Yeah, one of the heal trolls was healing the other one, I guess, but I think it was the Blood Rite of Miracle, the Bloodseeker, actually aggroing the creeps in the first place. But this troll mining up big time. I do think that they may have been able to just run away from the troll in all honesty, but in the end, they get the kill on the troll. Yes, the Husker dies, but probably it's a worthy trade anyway. They got just 3 kills within a span of like a minute and a half maybe. Medusa also, of course, free farming on the top lane all the while. Funny thing though, Miracle, he is number 1 in last hits, of course. Lots of them are jungle ones, I believe. Looking at their net worth. No, Bloodseeker still number 1 on the Radiant side as well. So jungle Bloodseeker, it can go pretty fast if you just use the Blood Rage correctly.
Yeah, well, he has been uncontested, and we do miss a kill onto poor Chibix. He does go down to Lubby.
Medusa's solo kill, Jesus.
I think it was this. I think it may have been the Mystic Snake. She used the Mystic Snake during the fight recap. So I think maybe he just got clipped at the very end by that Mystic Snake.
I just think that's like a kill that probably shouldn't almost ever happen. Maybe if the Stone Gaze is involved as well to slow down the Zeus and make him take extra physical damage, something like that. But mid lane, nope, Tornado misses. So Invoker can't even try to go on the Tinker, who is still quite far away from his boost of travels. Of course, has a bottle, has another 1k gold, so halfway there. Poloson though, he's probably going to get life broken once he comes into vision.
They did pop the smoke, but Miracle manages to get the ultimate onto our line. There's a nice fissure though to really disconnect them from Angie, so it looks like he's going to be able to survive through the whole duration of the Rupture. So first Rupture of the game, unfortunately no kill for 5EVER just because of a great fissure from Kai.
Earthshaker, just such a strong hero if you can use him correctly. Of course, every now and then, doesn't matter how skilled of a player you are, the fissure just will kind of bounce that hero onto the wrong side of it. But this one was definitely one of the greater ones. Oh, Poloson, he gets fissured, gets life broken, and
all the creeps! Oh no! He manages to kill the Husker in time. He does go down in the end, but the creeps actually block the exit for the Troll Warlord. So in the backlines there, we do lose the Earthshaker, and lastly our Lion. So 5EVER, they lose their carry and their support, but they manage to get the off lane and both support. So if I was 5EVER, I'd be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, definitely not a bad trade at all. I mean, Bloodseeker just keeps on getting more and more farms somehow. Still, Medusa has a little bit more, but this Bloodseeker is also going for a mech at the moment.
Yeah, I took a look at his inventory, and this is going to be a first. I've never, ever seen a mech Bloodseeker. Ever.
I think, of course, I can't say for sure, but I think it may really be the first one ever, even if we haven't seen it. I don't think anybody's seen it. Maybe in pubs, but probably not in pro play.
I haven't actually seen it in pubs either, but we'll see how it actually works out for Miracle. Because if you buy a mech on a hero like the Bloodseeker, it means that yes, he is going to be very sustainable in the fights because he has a little bit of healing to work with, not just for himself, but also his teammates. In the mid lane, they're Tornado connecting onto KS. They're just going to finish him up with a Finger of Death, and that's about it. But actually, Z-Red, he TP'd in, he kept going. It may have been a big mistake for the Venge. Echo Slam going to be connecting onto the Venge as well. So they commit everything. They get some nice kills. I think may have been a bit of overkill, but there's going to be ultimate coming up from our Bloodseeker onto Freedom. Now, this is going to be able to finish him off with the Troll Warlord too, but Miracle going to keep on chasing. Chibix, though, we have a little invisible Zeus. Can he really do anything, though? I think he's just going to hang around, soak up some EXP, and go back into lane. Looks like that's what he does.
So, a 1-for-1 trade. Tinker probably slightly a more important kill than the Husker is. But even then, it was also just preventing Husker from jumping anybody else and securing another kill for first departure. Top lane also, Medusa does get the tower down. KS a little bit too slow in just attempting the deny there. So first departure, things are looking pretty nice for them. If you look at the graphs, they also have about a 4k lead already mid lane. Yuwa, probably in some trouble. Miracle doesn't have the Rupture. A TP out is what Invoker will get. Wow, that fissure prevented the magic missile from stopping the TP here.
Yeah, my goodness. Great plays coming out from Kai this game on the Earthshaker. These fissures, we had one bit of a misplay fissure during the early game, but ever since then, he's had pretty much every single fissure on point. So far I'd actually say MVP for our Earthshaker. Kai's doing very well. He's not rushing the Blink Dagger though. Looks like he's going to be giving farm to his Lion, who's getting pretty close to his Blink Dagger. 1.2k. Still needs another 1k to go, and then he will have that almighty Blink Dagger to blink around 3 hexes and Earth Spikes. And then hopefully from there on, Kai can get his own Blink Dagger. Both of these heroes love their Blink Daggers.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, Lion, as always, is going to be the first priority for it. It is pretty sucky though to play an Earthshaker. At least he has managed to find enough gold for that Soul Ring, so he doesn't have to worry about just running out of mana all the time. That's definitely one upside for the Earthshaker already. As he gets another Fisher Miracle, will secure himself a rune, even goes for a like preemptive blood right there. Mech is finished though, so with the mech being finished, usually that is an item that you get to brawl rather early on. Is that what 5 is going to look for, or do they still play more of like a farming game with maybe a little bit of just focus on getting pickoffs with that rupture?
I kind of feel like they want to go for some more push with these heroes, because when you pick up a mechanism, it could be one of two things. Like you mentioned, they could be a little bit more aggressive and they could fight. Or what I'm suggesting is that they might try and go for a little bit of push, because they've drafted a Troll Warlord who's going to give you extra attack speed, and you're also going to be able to fall back on your Tinker who has the March of Machines. So if First Departure wants to try and fight into 5 ever, they're going to have to fight into a mech, they're going to have to fight into a March, they're going to be lasered. They got the Zeus ultimate to fall back onto as well, but Lubby, they might be in trouble in the top lane, but it's just really the off lane Zeus. There's the swap though thrown onto Lubby. There's going to be the ultimate there from Miracle, and there is a TP available if the Medusa actually wants to pop it, but it looks like they're going to be waiting for the actual teammates to come in. Freedom, they're going to be coming in from the side, and we have Iwa on our Invoker. There's going to be the Tornado EMP combo. It's going to catch onto the Zeus. Shubik's very low, but Miracle, he has the mechanism popped at the very last moment, so that's going to keep Shubix alive for a little bit. He's going to pop his bottle, but 2 heroes down on the side of 5 ever. Troll died in the bottom lane.
Man, first Couchor, or rather Medusa, just standing his ground. Stone Gaze, such a strong ability, you can't really do anything if you're 5 against him. Maybe once the Tinker gets a hell of a lot more burst, has the laser maxed out, gets maybe a Dagon as well on top of that. But that's also like one thing that made me wonder why the Medusa is even going for a Lincoln Sphere. If you get ruptured, you just pop your Stone Gaze and you're going to be perfectly fine. Early on, of course, you're lacking stats a little bit, so you may get bursted to the point from your mana shield that you don't have enough mana for that Stone Gaze, but it's not that high of a chance if you go for like a Matastar or IF the first item instead of the Lincoln Sphere. So do you think Lincoln's is gonna be a just worthy item choice for Medusa this game?
I think it's okay though, because if you look at 5 ever, they don't have many spells to actually cancel out the Lincoln Sphere. And all the spells at 5 ever that they have to cast, they're very important spells. Down the bottom lane, they just missed the kill on the Vengeful Spirit and Polis, and looks like he might be in trouble. He's just going to back up. He was turned into a fish. First Departure. They're going to send Kai back. He's very low, roughly 20 HP. Oh my goodness, Bloodseeker in the middle lane, managing to get a kill on the Invoker and Freedom. Taking a little bit of damage himself. Miracle has no mana left though. There's the Earth Spike. Will he be turned into a fish? There's no mana actually. He's very quick, but I think he's going to die anyway. Do the stacks? The creep will deny him? No, they won't. Huskar's going to manage to finish him up with the blood ticks. The fire ticks. Oh.
Man, Burning Spears. To be honest, it only makes sense that you die if you get hit by multiple Burning Spears. Those spears are kind of massive as well that the Husker is throwing out, in all fairness.
Yeah.
So he's definitely gotten a lot of kills, 5, 3 and 1 for now. Who even has the highest kill participation on First Departure side? Oh, it's the Lion with 10.
Yeah. Lion's been... yeah, I guess Lion, because Earthshaker's died twice, only has 8 assists. So Lion's been pretty active. His Blink Dagger is up though, so it's pretty much easier for him to really get into the fights just because he's very, very mobile with the Blink. So hopefully we have Kai grabbing his soon. He's got 800 gold, so he's well on his way to getting his Blink. I think this is going to be a mid push though, coming out from 5 ever.
We have a Yule Scepter Huskar.
That's interesting.
That's interesting is probably the correct word for this one. I really don't know about that one. Maybe he wants to throw... I don't know. Just think Armlet Huskar is just such a baller that you don't really need to go for anything else.
I feel like he's actually grabbed it so he can actually use the inner vitality a little bit more. It's a great spell, especially when you have a teammate that's incredibly low. It's, I think, 80 bonus when hurt. You get... Oh, there's a bonus from the attribute, the 20%, but Polison, there's a Finger of Death. Actually, I think the Tornado cancelled that out. I think it was thrown in the air. It survived. Oh my goodness. So Z-Red, he's going to go down. Polison will tick out, though, in the end to the Huskar. Miracle, though, going to pop the ultimate onto Freedom. He's just going to TP out. He does not need to hang around. And unfortunately, the Bolt not going to cancel the TP out, so he's home free. But Miracle manages to grab the tower. That was unfortunate there for first departure. That was very unfortunate.
So they do get the kill in the end, but do you think maybe Lion would have survived had they not messed up that Finger of Death? Had first departure just gone for even more? Or I get the feeling that it may not have been like a massively different outcome in the end. But who knows? It's hard to say. It's just hard for you mentally if such a thing happens. Like, oh god, I just used a 160-second cooldown for nothing.
I think maybe the outcome would have been the same, but they wouldn't have had to use so many resources to kill the Troll Warlord in the end, because the Tornado threw him up in the air, it cancelled out the Finger of Death animation. So basically what happens is they had to throw in more spells with cooldowns to get the kill. They put themselves in a more vulnerable position. It could have been much easier, it could have been much cleaner, but that bit of a misplay made it a little bit harder, but I guess they would have gotten the exact same outcome in the end anyway. Maybe they could have thrown out a little bit more damage onto 5-Ever. Who knows? What's done is done. We can't really go back in time and say, hey, could we do this again, but not Tornado?
Oh, that would be pretty sick if you can, or if you could. But I have to say, Huskar with Burning Spears plus Urn, that's just so much damage over time. You life break somebody, you throw in even like 3-4 spears, and it's just burning for a hell of a lot. Of course, at the moment, Freedom farming up the bottom lane here, uses the Inner Vitality to get back to a little bit better of a fighting shape. The Orchid also finally finished on the Invoker, definitely not the fastest one, but Tinker, never mind, does cancel his TP, although does have a blink, so you can like shift Q the blink, but just not quite risk it for now.
Yeah, I think he's worried that he might not be fast enough. I guess he is. He's going to keep on going. Oh, blink forward. Everybody on first departure really wants that Tinker. They threw everything. But he does cancel it in the end. They're going to back up. But the rest of 5-Ever, they are smoked up. They're going to throw the Thunder God's Wrath. They are only going to find the 2 supports. Freedom has already TP'd out. So, first departure. Oh, they're going to go right onto Hoshino. There's a Fissure though. There's a Silence. That's going to definitely kill the Lion. No way for him to really escape. Even if he TP'd out, I think he would have died before he would have been able to TP. So a little unfortunate there for Lion, but sometimes you gotta give your life away.
Okay, yes though, Cold snapped up, they can't get enough damage, high ground vision screwing them over, never mind. Invoker gets the kill in the end, Ghost Walk to get away from Polison now, Lobby should also be able to just run himself to safety. So that's a huge kill, getting the Tinker down, and Invoker, he's still hanging about, has the Orchid coming off cooldown. Bottom lane, they get the Fissure onto Chibix, should be an easy kill thread, already the target of focus. Or the focus target, and now Lobby gonna chase down Chibix, but really no way to slow him down, no Skadi yet for her.
Yeah, she has a Lincoln Sphere though, and as well as the point booster, so she's relatively tanky. There's the dive in by Freedom, and that's a very, very dead Zeus. 3 heroes down for 5-Ever. Up in the top lane though, they dived a T2 tower for the Tinker kill. Did you notice that, Couchor?
Yeah,
they dived past. Yeah, they dove everything to get the Tinker kill, but he is a very, very crucial hero. Whoops, I've dropped something. But Tinker's only a little bit big. He's got a Blink Dagger, he's got his Boots of Travels. Dagon's going to be his next item of choice, and once that comes up, that's going to give him solo kill potential. So if anyone is farming in a lane to kick a TP into a creep wave that's incoming, or to that current creep wave that is being farmed, and potentially kill them. Now, I'm not expecting him to kill anything like a Huskar or Medusa. Huskar is going to be nigh impossible for a Tinker to kill by himself, but possibly the Invoker, especially the 2 supports, but these supports have been very proactive on the side of first departure, so for the Tinker to get a kill on them, they would have to be a little bit passive in farming something. Hoshino kind of sitting on the high ground, trying to find somebody, but no one's going to come onto the high ground. I'm going to TP up to the top lane to see what Lubby's up to, but the rest of first departure is still down the bottom lane. Freedom's still farming, whereas the other 2 heroes are currently here. They're kind of just keeping tabs on what's going on.
So chat is saying that Huskar went for Setter purely to cancel TP. Oh, Chibix is going to get silenced up. Cold Snap is there a little bit too late, but the EMP somehow still connects the animation. I was so sure he's out of it, but it's bigger than normally and Freedom jumps in with the life break. Has to use the Ghost Scepter to escape Polosan after the fact. But will stay alive, inner vitality, getting lots of regen since he was that low on health beforehand. But Yule Scepter just to cancel people TPing out. I suppose if you're looking for like solo kills, it may be worth it. But considering the amount of lockdown that the rest of the heroes have, I'm not too sure if it's that necessary, but it can definitely work out like defensive as well. Get out of a Blood Rite, for example, from the Bloodseeker, or get rid of that laser debuff. If you get lasered, yes, it may not like damage you. Well, it's pure damage, so your magic resist won't help against that anyway, but otherwise you won't be doing damage anyway. If you get lasered, you just use yourself up, get rid of the mischance, and just come back down and continue attacking.
Yeah. Well, we have Lubby pushing the top lane. Huskar's going to come in from the backside, so he wants to try and grab somebody. Easiest target would be Chibix, but if they get KS, that'll be an extra bonus as well. But he's in the trees now. They don't have any vision. Huskar, they're still there. He sees Miracle. Who's he want to jump on? He's going to back up. He's a little bit worried he might get caught out in case there might be a Thunder God's Wrath or a Lightning Bolt in the unfortunate place. So everyone on the side of First Departure, they're just going to back up. They don't need to overextend. They do not need to fight. Their Medusa is farming incredibly well.
So 5v1 now, as we can see, the Zeus is kind of in a support role at the moment. Has about the same amount of farm as the Lion does, Lion slightly surpassing the Zeus of course. So with them running a jungle Bloodseeker, they probably in the draft they were like, if the Zeus offlane works out fine and can get core amounts of farm, awesome. If not, we're still gonna have 3 cores apart from this Zeus. So maybe it was like in their draft or in their game plan from the start to have the Zeus as kind of an expandable hero.
Yeah, maybe. It could be, because the way the 5 ever laned their lanes, it was very greedy. It was incredibly greedy just because they had the jungle Bloodseeker and that Zeus in the off lane. So, like you said, everything that you said was completely viable. I don't really have anything to add on top of that, I suppose. But I think I'm going to have a couple of problems just because Lubby's free farming. He's got 5 kills on his head. He's not died once. There's 2 assists. In the middle lane though, Hoshino might be in a bit of trouble. There's the Earth Spike there. They're going to throw the ultimate onto Freedom, so that's going to be him ruptured. Lion's dead. Now there's going to be Lubby coming in with the Stone Gaze. They're just going to turn Polison away. Nobody's really going to want him to fight into this. He's going to turn around. BKB has already been popped. Actually just going to run out. Now Iwa. He has a tornado coming off cooldown in 15 seconds. It won't be long enough to really secure them that tornado, but they're going to hang around. Freedom going to jump onto Miracle, but you really want to jump onto Miracle? Going to pop his Ghost Scepter to keep himself a little bit alive for a little bit longer. He's healing up just because the inner vitality. Now Kai going to keep on chasing Miracle. There's the silence. Kai, he's going to back up. He does not want to get silenced though. Fight's still happening. Echo Slam going to connect only at a Polison, so that's a dead troll Warlord, and unfortunately the Fissure going to keep red on the other side. There's the heals to keep him in place for a little bit longer. Life Break's coming off cooldown, but I'm pretty sure the Venge knew he was going to die anyway. Miracle, he's going to be silenced up. He kills the Huskar, so that's a mega kill streak going in the way of a Bloodseeker, and pretty much everyone else on the side of 5 ever, they get to retreat. First Departure, I think they only lost their Huskar for that fight. Oh, and their Lion as well, at the very beginning.
Yeah, Lion, not that big of a deal, although if you look at the graphs, it was a win for 5 in both gold as well as XP gain. Just because Huskar is rather farmed at this point in time, and First Departure, they would definitely like to kill Miracle if they can, but this Bloodseeker is just so damn speedy in those fights. So many heroes being on low health, of course. For every hero, Bloodseeker just gets so much extra movement speed all of a sudden. But that fight definitely could have gone a hell of a lot worse, really for both sides. But considering 5 had 2 fresh 10-second BKBs in that fight, I think it went still pretty fine for First Departure. Okay, yes, gets caught. Cold Snap Tornado is still there if he wants to use it, I think, but he's just gonna man-fight it out and win against the Tinker.
Yeah, so great pick there for Iwa to pick up that Tinker. He's going to be dead, so no farming for the Tinker this game. Tinker's actually going for a Bloodstone. So he's not going for a Dagon at all. He's not going for any kill potential. He's trying to go for survivability as well as mana regeneration to stay around during the fights. Very interesting by the Tinker.
Well, it may have to do with something like I can't reach the supports anyway because they themselves have Blink Daggers and they're probably not going to get caught as easily. Medusa cannot really be bursted down even with a Dagon. Huskar doesn't care that much about magic damage because he's going to have a crazy amount of magic resist. So just being able to laser more often because you have more mana to go for the rearm, maybe the just right way to approach this.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe he could go on the way of the Aghanim Scepter this game, I guess. It seems like it could be an Ags game. I've seen an Aghanim's Tinker before. It
Have
wasn't
you?
amazing, but it's a very niche. It's a very niche item. You never want to pick it up on your Tinker every time. It's just you only pick it up occasionally.
Oh, Yua did show himself on the bottom lane, ran into the tower while he tried to just scout out the Tinker, maybe go for another kill. Unable to really catch up though. But Aghanim Scepter, it's an item I would love to see in Tinker, but somehow, for some reason, it just never happens as Thundergust Ref does scout out the Invoker, but the Invoker should be fast enough. They're gonna use Blood right, everything. Tornado, TP auto will not be a success. I think Invoker could have just kept on running, in all fairness. I mean, he had the Coast Walk, he was extremely speedy. Highly likely that nobody would have been able to catch up with him.
I think I was worried about the Bloodseeker actually getting the Rupture on him, but looks like Miracle going to try and find somebody to rush, but not Rupture. Not able to get anybody. Kai did blink out at the right time. Hoshino, though, oh, he just blinked out as he got Ruptured, so that's going to be a dead lion. Very, very dead lion.
Sad life. Miracle also running out with the gem. Getting a ward down from that position there. So first departure, 2 heroes down, and look at where 5 is going. Straight into Roche Pit, or are they? No, Poloson doubles back for a little while. Freedom just, yeah, okay, yes. Fissured up, gonna get life broken. Even the Echo Slam used for this freedom. Gets stunned, but already got the inner vitality off beforehand. Also gonna have that Heaven's Halberd soon enough, which is definitely gonna help up against both Poloson as well as Miracle, given that their BKBs are on cooldown already.
Yeah, looks like they did try and go for a bit of a Roche attempt, but they only took him down to 8.8k HP. So Roche is going to heal that up relatively quickly. So I think 5-Ever, they really want the Roche, but they need to try and create space elsewhere to divert First Departure from ever checking the Roche pit. The only issue is First Departure has Roche warded, so even if 5-Ever try and go in there with the smoke, they will be scouted out. They need to deward it. They need to grab some extra vision themselves. They've only got a couple of wards on the map. It's going to be this ward in the middle lane, and they have this more aggressive ward in the First Departure jungle. So they can see a couple of movements in the jungle, but they don't really have anything to show them any vision for entrances into maybe their own jungle, or maybe even towards their secret shop. So I would like to see a little bit of extra vision. Lubby going to be jumped on by Polison, but Polison going to be turned into stone. Bit of a misplay there by the Troll Warlord, not able to turn around in time. So that's going to be him down already. And I think 5-Ever, they're just going to make a quick getaway. Their Troll Warlord's dead. They can't really fight into First Departure anymore.
It was a little bit weird that the Troll went that far up ahead by himself. Really didn't have almost any backup. Of course, Stone Gaze was used, so it's not like the others could have really come in that well, but that Stone Gaze buffing up the physical damage taken by 100%, Husker coming in with, well, rather low attack damage in all fairness because he has no damaging items. But even with that, Troll Warlord, he just got chunked down, BKB or no, you still take physical damage. So really nicely done by First Departure, once again standing their ground, using the Stone Gaze to its full effect. And this Medusa has a crazy amount of gold.
Crazy. That's very crazy. She has a Skadi, a Lincoln Sphere, and she can essentially go for another item at this point. She might just go for an MKB. Troll Warlords, it'll pretty much just deter the Troll Warlord or that Bloodseeker from ever picking up a butterfly, which once they see an MKB on Lubby, they're probably not going to pick it up. What's actually on the courier? What is this? What is this item? Nope, we're going to have a butterfly on our own Medusa. So Lubby's going to be hitting fast and furious this game.
Yeah, it's definitely a worthy item choice, I think, considering the amount of physical damage to come out from 5-Eva's side, although Lubby may be in trouble. Stone Gaze, 2 seconds still on cooldown, or no, 5-Eva. They don't care about kills, they just wanted Aegis.
They smoked in, but there was vision from First Departure. If they did not see the Roche having 5-Eva just go in there with the smoke, that's a bit of a misplay. There was even a sentry ward here too. My goodness, they didn't see them at all?
If you're smoked, no wards reveal it, so...
I thought sentry wards reveal it.
No, I think it was patched out from, well, quite some time ago by now, I believe. So there's I think nothing to scout smokes, but oh! Threat! Tornado does catch both the Bloodseeker as well. They will get here spike only onto one because Merkel had the BKB. Can they now turn around, or do they have to just try try to run away. Stone Gaze will come out, and I think it should be enough to turn it around. Polos on BKB, it's gonna wear off, and that should be his death as well.
Oh my goodness, Freedom's still moving around with the Rupture. That's going to actually finish up in the end anyway, so that's okay. Medusa, though, does get finished up by the Zeus, and that's an unstoppable streak going in the way of him as well. Miracle going to keep on chasing after it with Iha. Freedom going to try and fight against him, but he's hitting very, very hard. Freedom, they're going to try and heal himself a little bit, but Invoker, he's going to die in the backlines. Freedom going to try and fight against Polison. There's the stun coming out from Hashino. Can he stun him up a little bit longer? They do get the Troll Warlord down, KS, so he rearmed in the backlines, but he's actually exposed by himself now. They're going to get the Tinker. He actually commits suicide. So that's not going to be a kill going in the way of the first departure, but that was a very, very messy fight in the Radiant jungle.
Oh, it most certainly was, but that was also an Aegis lost on 5EVA, right? Who even had Aegis?
Yes. They had Aegis, didn't they? Yeah, Roshan's dead.
I'm pretty sure they had it. I think it might have been the Troll Warlord, but... yeah, it was probably the Troll because the Troll died first, I believe. Then the Medusa went down to just Zeus killing him off, and that of course gave away a lot of gold. That was the first ever Medusa, had 6 kills before that. So getting quite a bit from that, but even then Medusa still number 1 in net worth. Of course sitting about the same amount that he had before that fight. I do have to commend though the kiting abilities of first departure, especially Huskar just staying alive on such low health. Then the deafening blast coming into the Troll Warlord was what allowed to stay, or for the Huskar to stay alive, that little bit of extra time for the Earth Spike to come off cooldown and Lion. So nicely done there, deafening blast definitely nice if the BKBs are already on cooldown. But we do have now a Dagon level 1 on KS.
So we're finally going to have a little bit of kill potential on the Tinker. It's KS, he's on a Tinker and he's trying to fight with his team, but unfortunately they just can't give him enough space to really survive. During the last fight, all their frontliners are dead. And that leaves your Tinker exposed, and he either has to commit to the fight or he just has to try and make a getaway for himself. But it's very difficult to get away when you have a lot of disables on the side of first departure and you have some very quick heroes as well. There's always going to be the threat of the Invoker. There's always going to be the threat of the Huskar with the Burning Spears to cancel out your Blink Dagger. Now, looks like top lane's going to be in trouble by 5EVA. They're going to probably just sack the tower. It's very low. They can't really deny it because everyone on the side of first departure was there. So Medusa going to snag the tower and they're just going to back up. They don't really want to go onto the high ground just yet, it seems. They're just going to play it safe, grab their next set of core items, and just continue on from there. Shubik, I'm not sure what he was doing in the top lane. I think he wanted to try and go for a cheeky tower, but looks like the poor tower's going to survive at 3 HP.
Zeus, just worst split pusher confirmed. Can't even kill off the tower.
3 HP tower too. Oh my goodness. I think he went for one right click and just went straight for the TP, but his hits like a pea shooter. Oh no, he actually hits pretty hard. Oh no, never mind, that's the Vengeance aura. So he hits for approximately 94, but apparently that wasn't enough to take down the tower.
Well, there is still the armor as well, of course, coming into play
Yeah.
a little bit on the towers there. But we do have a couple of extra items finished up. Miracle has himself the SNY now, has been running around with the gem for a really long time now. Troll also gonna get an SNY of his own. So they're definitely gonna be pretty mobile. Gonna maybe try to outrun, well, a Huskar or a Medusa, but Medusa with the Eye of Skadi may still be able to just slow them down enough. Also, Lobby now, I think, has just enough gold to finish up his butterfly if he wants to.
Yeah, I think the reason why they actually picked up the Sand and Yashas on these heroes is, yeah, you mentioned mobility, but I think it's also because it's just cheap, cost-efficient damage. They can't really accumulate enough gold to really go for some of the big items. Miracle on Bloodseeker can really benefit from the Sand and Yasha just because it's going to give him a slow, it's going to give him extra movement speed, so it really helps the Bloodseeker. Troll Warlord, on the other hand, I guess it's a similar case. He can probably just rely on the bashes a little bit more, but the movement speed is an added bonus, so they're literally running around like race cars at the moment. I can't really keep track of them just because they're so quick. But you mentioned that IO Skadi is just going to be a big issue. It's always going to be the issue because there's always going to be the chance of having that slow. But it's not just the slows as well, it's the disables. So even though 5EVA is going to be moving relatively quickly, it's not really going to save you from the potential of being turned into a frog, being stuck by an earth spike, being fissured, being echo slammed, being tornadoed, EMP. There's just so much control on first departure that 5EVA is very much struggling.
So first departure trying to push in, but of course Tinker is around, multiple margin machines, heat seeking missiles coming out lobby. is there to tank all of it though. Doesn't care as much as we can see with the Blood Rite coming out. The Rupture as well, Freedom. Just runs out from the silence and is going to be perfectly fine.
Yeah, but 5-0, they really want to defend the tower, though. They bring the Tinker back. There's going to be one march. Nice deny from Polison, though. So, denied right under First Departure's nose, and First Departure, they're just going to back up again. So it looks like they're going to go for one final push in the mid lane. They've got one T2 tower left. It's their last easy tower to really grab. Nice little extra gold to help not just the carries but also the supports. Kai, he's going for what seems to be a Yule Scepter. It's going to be a nice pickup. It's going to help him with some extra movement speed, extra mana pull, just because he's gone for Tranquil Boots instead of Arcane Boots. Now Butterfly's been picked up on our Medusa, so she has evasion now. So it's going to be very hard for 5-0 to really pick her down if they're only going to rely on right clicks. They're really going to have to burst down Lubby, but he's just so tanky.
So do you think Huskar, like, not having the most amount of farm is going to be an issue for First Departure, or does Medusa having the extra farm just make up for that?
The Freedom just on the Huskar?
Yeah.
I feel like as the game goes later, Huskar's job, it's just pretty much there to be a nuisance. So they picked a super late hard game carry in the Medusa. I'm going to be honest, she can technically count as 2 heroes just because of how tanky she is and because of her split shot being able to hit like multiple heroes at the same time. So I think for the moment, Huskar, all he's there to really do is to just slowly whittle down 5-0. He's not there to really burst anybody down. If he does, it's a great bonus. But he's just there to be super annoying, to jump on people, to slow them down with the life break, have the Heaven's Halberd nearby. He's not really going to be doing too much damage himself. He will eventually, I suppose, when he gets something like a Heart or maybe even a Satanic, just to have a little bit of lifesteal for more sustainability. But he's not there for damage at all. He's just there to bully out the supports, to bully out the Zeus, maybe even jump on the Tinker to cancel out the Blink Dagger if he tries to do so.
Oh, Lobby now though. Just being a siege machine once again has to alacrity on him as well for extra attack speed, extra damage a little bit. Oh, you have a Rupture though. They're gonna chase down Lion. He's dead already. Miracle pops his BKB. Gonna go for it. Another target. Stone Gaze also used. This may be the fight that 5 are looking for. Miracle gets another kill. Finally gets stunned. Echo Slam is there. And they do kill Miracle in return. But Lobby, can he stand his ground? Oh yes he can. Who needs Stone Gaze if you just have Mana Shield anyway? But in the end, still a 2-for-1 trade in the favor of 5 Eva.
I'm not too sure why 5 didn't try to engage into First Departure. It's very surprising. Stone Gaze was already used. They could have tried to go on those heroes, I suppose, but maybe they feel like they're just not comfortable enough, or maybe just not strong enough to go up against the Huskar, Medusa, and Earthshaker on First Departure. I guess they were also worried about potential buybacks because they were so close to the T2 tower on the side of First Departure. The fight happened here, so if anyone on the side of First Departure bought back, if they had buyback, then maybe they were worried about losing more than they were asking for. But there was a very nice play from Miracle to come into the backlines and to just get 2 easy kills like that. And the great thing is he got one of the cores, which was the Invoker. So even though he died, I guess it was okay, just because 5 they're really struggling this game. They're trying to do whatever they can, and they go for a cheesy strat, and it definitely worked out.
Yeah, I still think that they probably should have, or could have at the very least, gone for that follow-up initiation. Or at least go for a unified decision to have Miracle back off in time. Then again, if you're that close to getting a kill on the core, enemy core like that, it's definitely worth it. Also managing to, well, I can't even say bait out an Echo Slam, but make an Echo Slam be used to secure a kill on him. It's definitely not too bad as, did I just see it right? Yes, a Basher coming out for Huskar.
Yeah. I'm actually reading casters, didn't see Aegis use. Sorry, I was reading Twitch chat, we're apparently bad casters. But don't worry, no one actually said that. I'm just dreaming. But Tinker's finally getting some more Dagons on top of his Dagon. So he's sitting on, I don't want to say sitting on 4 Dagons, it's a level 4 Dagon, but he's actually going to start hitting hard a little bit.
How bad of an item would it be if you had to upgrade it by purchasing another Dagon instead of just purchasing the recipe?
It would have to count as another spell. So maybe if you went for 5 Dagons, then it could do 300 damage each or something? Individual cooldowns? OP?
Well, if you go for 6 Dagons, each doing 400 damage first level, right? Yep, 400 damage. So you do 2.4k, of course, minus the 25% magic resistance. So it's
Oh, a lot of damage.
about 550 damage less. So it's like 1.9k damage, give or take a few.
That's still pretty good, but I guess you got to count in magic resistance as well. Lobby is in the Roost pit, so
It is
first
like
departure.
1.9k when you take down the magic resistance already.
Oh, okay, that's already with magic resistance.
But that's 6 day guns, which is probably just...
Well, you need boots. You gotta have boots somewhere, unless there's an individual boot slot. But looks like Miracle gonna try and go for the cheeky play again, but this looks like it's not gonna actually work this time. He's gonna be thrown into the air. Now Miracle was already dead, but KS, he comes in. They managed to get one hero so far, so Earthshaker's down. Freedom's still alive though. KS, can he grab anyone else? He's actually running out of mana. Hoshino's actually still alive. He will go down to Polisson in the end though, and Troll, he's gonna be fighting. And unfortunately, Halberd and Dead, 2 gems are on the deck so far. No one really wants to pick them up on the side of first departure. Looks like the courier is going to swipe that up for their jewelry store. And looks like easy Roshan for first departure.
Can KS maybe snatch the ages? Well, I think he's going to try, or never mind. No, he's not. Just random March the Machines. Could have at least gone for it as freedom. It's just crazy how little he cares about March the Machines now that they're purely magical. Just runs through them, barely takes any damage at all. The same was, he had a Ghost Scepter activated, he got heat-seeking missile, and it pretty much did no damage at all.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. But Miracle is really trying this game. He's really trying to go into the back lines, just try and go for those really quick snipe kills, but first departure they've caught on. They're not going to let Miracle do that anymore. It looks like Ewa's going to go for an easy kill on the Vengeful Spirit. No chance for him to throw this down. He pops a magic wand though, so he's going to be able to survive. So that's a missed kill opportunity by Eha actually. Tornado not going to connect. That would have been close, but I don't think he would have died even if he got hit by the tornado.
So a little bit unfortunate, it was just a little bit too far away after the Deafening Blast. Definitely a good ability, but it also pushes the target back a little bit, so... This time around, that pushback was what I think was the difference between the kill or just him surviving the Vengeful Spirit. They are still going to get the tier 2 down rather easily, so Monkey King Bar now comes out on the Troll. So going for the Medusa is going to be easier. Also going for the kill on Huskar, also easier. But still the amount of lockdown the first departure has, once those PKBs wear off, is crazy.
Yeah, it's not just the knockdown though. Oh my goodness, look at all the heroes on the side of first departure. The HP really dropping now. We do have Lubby, he's popped the Stone Gaze. Not really going to get anyone turned into stone. Actually, Polisson going to keep on turning around. There's the Earth Spike. He will get turned into stone at the last second. Finger of Death though, not really going to work on that little stone effigy. So a bit of a misplay there from the Lion, but 2 heroes already dead on the side of 5 Ever. Bloodseeker just going to make a quick getaway into the base, but that was a very messy fight. Everything just happening all over the place.
Well, all things considered, I think it still didn't go all that bad for them. They did get 2 kills, so gold and XP wise, it's perfectly fine. Of course, Troll being dead without buyback is definitely somewhat of a worry. And first departure, they still have all of their damage dealers, all of their cores alive. Lobby is still under the effects of the Vengeance Aura debuff, so he's hitting for a little bit less, but with the Alacrity, it's probably gonna make up for that fact. So they're already pushing in tier 3. They still have the Aegis as well. I mean, Lobby, he can just stand there for so long with that mana shield.
And Miracle gonna go for an easy kill, but never mind. KS is gonna literally KS that kill. So that's a nice pickup they get. Weehan, well, Lobby, no. He's thinking about it, but Miracle's restraining himself. He says, no, don't go for the Lobby. Don't go for the Lobby. Can't go big or go home, because I'll definitely go home.
It's Tinker really getting to the stages that the burst damage is unbearable for some of the first departure heroes, so Invoker. He's not gonna go for a BKB because he's building into an Aghanims at the moment, unless it's an Eye of Skadi. It's just gonna be some easy targets for the Tinker at least, especially should he get an E-Blade, which I think is most likely gonna go for. If not for the extra burst damage on somebody, also just being able to E-Blade yourself up against a Medusa, for example, it's not too bad of an idea.
Yeah, you gotta be worried about some of the magical damage on the side of first departure. If you're next to the line and you E-Blade yourself, you're asking to get killed. So We'll see if he does go for the E-Blade or if he wants to go for something else. I would prefer Hex, in all honesty. They need the extra lockdown. They're lacking lockdown themselves. So if they're going up against the Medusa, I think if you're hexed up and you don't, even if you have mana shield, I think it just chops straight into your HP pool.
I have to say I have no idea how it works with Hex. I know Hex
Chat,
for sure removes Butterfly. That one is
Chat will
certain.
tell us.
Chat will of course tell us.
Yes, chat will tell us.
Chat probably plays this game a hell of a lot more than we do.
Probably. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
So it looks like there's
Invoker
going to be
though.
a push.
So Lobby got lasered, doesn't care too much about it, still backing away to tier 3, which is gonna go down, but Lobby himself, out of mana completely. How long does he have the Aegis for? Only about another 50-40 seconds. So he has to be careful not to lose the Aegis at too wrong of a time.
It's happened countless times, Couchor. It's happened countless times. But if 5 ever managed to kill Lubby and he doesn't realize that Aegis is gone, that's going to be massive. They've killed off the powerhouse of First Departure. Now he has buyback though of Miracle. Going to go for the little cute play again. Going to come in from the back line. He's going to get jumped on by Freedom though. So Miracle going to make a getaway. He's waiting for the rest of his team. Going to be turned to a fish. Finger of Death. They're going to continue on going after him. But nice swap coming out from Red. Going to keep the Miracle alive. Now, they get the Invoker kill with Polison. Actually, Freedom, though, if he's not careful, he might die himself. Can be lasered. He does get picked off Kai, though. He manages to stun him up a little bit longer. And Lion, though, very low. That's going to be the death of Hoshino, though. Lubby, his Aegis is down now. So if 5 ever want to try and commit for the kill onto him, then they might be able to actually grab him this time. Lubby, he's still got the mana shield up. BKB is still available. He's just going to kite Miracle at this point. Is actually going to keep on fighting, and the negative armor coming out from this poor little Forge Spirit's doing a lot of work. Now, looks like they are going to try and jump onto Lubby. No disable, 4-star forward by his teammate. BKB has been popped. Lubby, no boots or travels or TP scrolls, so he's going to have to try and stall for as long as he can while the rest of his team comes off their death timers, but I think this is going to be a dead Medusa.
Oh, Lincoln Sphere blocks one of the abilities, but never mind. Rearm being on a 1-second cooldown, just too easy to chase with those Blink Daggers. Freedom tries to go for a counter kill at least on the Bloodseeker. Life break is there, should be able to get the kill or no. With the BKB, maybe a Miracle can turn things around. Mech is used, and not gonna happen, or is it? Oh, the mischance from the laser. Wow.
Miracle's still alive! 30 HP, and he has 2 gems! A gem for each earring.
This fight, First Departure, it wasn't looking that bad, but Medusa not really making the best usage out of the Aegis. Also, since he was so low on mana from being bursted into the mana shield beforehand when it went for the tier 3, he couldn't even use the Stone Gaze there, I think. So, just slightly misplay from First Departure, maybe chasing for the kills on the left side a little bit too much. Maybe could have just focused on the racks instead. And just go for the objectives, because 5 they are catching up in farm quite just easily so as well. Yes, Medusa is still number 1, but Medusa is going to be capped out soon enough, whereas Troll can get just, I wouldn't say infinitely stronger, but there's still so much room to improve on for him. Same for Miracle really, and Tinker, as we can see. That burst damage is already just getting out of control almost.
Yeah, so 5 ever, they've got a couple of good things coming up for them. Their 3 cores are finally coming online, and more, I want to say that the Zeus is a half core just because he's doing quite a bit of magical burst himself. So their 3.5 core lineup so far, it's looking good. They're starting to get items, whereas First Departure, they've essentially gone for, I don't know, would we call Iwa a core? I guess he's supposed to be a core, so roughly a 2-core lineup. Heartscar, unfortunately, he's pretty much there just to really throw some harassment down, but Lubby, there's the Stone Gaze, not going to connect on anybody, so unfortunately that's going to be a bit of a waste. Short cooldown on it though, so I think First Departure, they're going to wait for the Stone Gaze to cool down and continue on their siege on the mid lane tower, but actually Polison got a little bit greedy, wanted to go for the creeps, he will get stunned up. There's going to be the Cold Snap, Finger of Death, there's going to be a Zeus ultimate though. Hoshino's very low, KS going to go for a blink forward and kill. Troll's still alive though! 30 HP, so Polison actually gets out in the end. KS going to go for a kill onto the Invoker. Now looks like this fight looks pretty good for 5 ever so far. Miracle going to jump onto Lubby. He's silenced up, can't really do anything. That Stone Gauge from before is really hurting him. Lubby's actually going to go down. Is he actually going to go down? Miracle's still fighting. Lubby's still alive though. He's actually healing up a little bit just because of the inner vitality from Freedom, sorry. So great play by the Huskar to keep Lubby alive, but actually he's got no mana left, and KS really wants this Medusa kill. First Departure, What happened?
They just
Couchor!
a few heroes got picked off at the start, which is definitely never a good sign, and just going in for the fight without the stone gaze, we saw how bad it is. And as I already said in the draft as well, Zeus, even if it doesn't get too much farm, just having the static field, spamming out those spells, it does so much damage by just being near to people. And also Tinker now with the Hex, just getting so much lockdown, so much worse damage from the Dagon level 5. It is becoming unmanageable by first departure. They really need to be able to blow up more heroes, but their damage, apart from like maybe Neko Slam and Finger of Death, isn't all that bursty. I mean, Husker jumps in, but he still needs a little bit of uptime with the attacks. Medusa isn't hitting like that hard quite yet either to really kill off heroes as fast, because it's this late into the game. All the heroes are rather tanky on 5. I mean, Bloodseeker, 2.8k health, Tinker 2.5, Troll 2.5. Even if you Finger of Death them, they're still gonna be sitting at like about 2k at least.
Yeah, so 5-0 getting very tanky. First departure, their draft is starting to fall off. This is very, very troublesome for first departure now. They need to get their spells to connect. We saw before, they used the Stone Gaze to try and chase after 5-0, but obviously if you don't look at the enemy, it's not really going to work. So, because he used the Stone Gaze for the previous fight, when that fight happened in the top lane, without that Stone Gaze, Medusa, she's only there for damage. She can't really do anything else for your team. She's not providing utility. She's only there to really throw damage. Because if you look at first departure, no one else is doing damage aside from this Medusa. Even Freedom on this Husker, he's trying to go for these disruptive items. He's got the Halberd. He's got a Skull Basher, this is probably the first time I've ever seen a Skull Basher on a Husker in general. Maybe because I've never actually played with Huskers before. No one plays Husker in my bracket. But yeah, Husker is just there to be annoying. He's not really there for damage. He hits decently hard, but not incredibly hard by any means. And he's also going to have the inner vitality if Lubby actually needs it.
Yeah, I mean, Abyssal Blade, I can understand on a Husker, but I think you should go for like an Abyssal Blade once you get enough gold to finish the entire thing up. Just because it is still a guaranteed lockdown ability for you. Plus some pretty nice extra just damage straight out as well. But oh no, Angie. He's going to go down. Has the use Scepter to stay alive for a little bit longer. He even used the Stone Gaze. Miracle will get hexed up. They might even get the kill on Bloodseeker. Nope, swapped out. Nicely done by Shred. Sacrificing himself until the point that Cheese came out. Husker is down. Polos on his man fighting, but well, he had the Aegis, so he didn't care as much. Miracle pops the mech. And Lobby now. BKB will wear off soon enough. There's no Stone Gaze anymore. Hexed up by the Tinker as well. That's going to be another 4 heroes down, and not one of them has buyback.
5-0 broke through first departure's draft the second time. And this fight looked almost the same as the last fight. The Stone Gaze did not connect onto anybody. So with the Stone Gaze down, first departure, their draft really started to fall. And while 5-0, they literally just left the range racks. They're just going straight after the melee racks. So they want to finish the game. They know they can do it. There's no buybacks on the side of first departure, so 5-0, I think they may have just taken this game.
Yeah, I think this is pretty much the GG point. Maybe, well, to be honest with the Death Timers, yeah, they can finish it up straight out with the Troll being there. So GG, well played. First departure, it's not like they had a weak late game lineup, just that 5-0 was stronger, and if this had been like equal levels of farm on every hero, it probably would have been different, but it was really just the only one Medusa, and was unable to do enough.
Yeah, so well, congratulations to 5-0. They broke through first departure's rock solid draft, and they're pretty much in the grand finals. The winner bracket finals.
Yes, the winner bracket final is going to come out where they will face. Let me check if we have the result for the other game. It is. God damn that bracket. Nope, no result yet. Can't say Wisp is playing Kingdom at the moment as well. So 5-0 will face the winner of Kansai Whips and Kingdom. So should be another great game coming out for the winner bracket final here as well. It was scheduled to start 6 minutes ago, so hopefully it's not going to take all that long. But it should most likely start whenever CSW versus Kingdom will finish. So guys, just if you want to see it, stick around. We'll highly likely cast that one. I don't think we have anything else to cast instead. So 5-0 versus the winner of Kingdom versus CSW coming up, hopefully within the next 15 minutes at the latest.